Even today, 75 years after our first broadcast, WDSU is still doing that, putting New Orleans on the map, something community leaders and trailblazers recognize.
From civil rights leaders to those who represent us on the national stage, WDSU anchor Randy Russo recounts those moments in history when WDSU strived for justice, accountability, and change.
As mayor of the city of New Orleans,
there should be an emphasis on those that are fighting back, fighting against it, working to make the community stronger and better.
And Mark Morial, who strives to do that work on a daily basis, recognizes WDSU as being in that same arena.
When I think of DSU, I think of DSU in the 70s, 80s, and 90s as sort of the rugged underdog.
It was in the 80s and 90s when Morial, the former mayor of New Orleans, and WDSU partnered up for the same fight, the war against crime.
I had to mobilize the community and get the community involved in the fight for a safer New Orleans. That meant, I remember in the early days, maybe the first 2 months, we did a huge town hall meeting in the 9th Ward, and WDSU not co-sponsored it, had its anchors and others as part of the panel that led the conversation. We were thinking about how to confront the city's problem of infrastructure and housing, and so DSU became a very, very important partner.
WDSU also confronted the civil rights movement here at home and across the country, filming the first black student in Mississippi being allowed into Oxford.
We will maintain segregation in Mississippi at all costs.
To the officers deployed as integration was happening in Arkansas.
They're getting out of the same Army station wagon that brought them to the school yesterday.
Then, watching on as 4 little girls, including Leona Tate, courageously walked through the doors of 2 all-white schools in New Orleans.
I remember running home in the evening and watching myself on television. I do remember that. And I do remember that Channel 6 did air the beginning of it.
Dominic Massa, a television historian, says WDSU, by nature of being first, was there for so many important moments. But it's how the station shined a light on these important issues that really made our journalists stand out.
I also think about the editorials. The editorials were important. During the civil rights time, taking a stand, against segregation and pro-integration, and that was pretty bold at that time, and they got a lot of threats, and a lot of people didn't like that stance that they took, but the station felt it was important. The Stern family that was behind the station, and the management of the station, the news department, felt that that was important.
That included pulling back the curtain on our state capitol, showing viewers how these impactful decisions were being made.
The state legislature would have been closed to cameras. It wouldn't have been, political coverage. It wouldn't have been civil rights coverage. It wouldn't have been things that we benefited from as a community had we not had WDSU there to capture those moments.
For tourism leaders, it's through our lens that New Orleans has been judged by the world.
It's just the pioneer aspect of WDSU, and I think they've always been on the forefront of technology and kind of showing how to do it the right way.
But there's also a level of comfort that they say the reporters, anchors, and meteorologists bring to their viewers.
You read your paper with Channel 6, you drink your coffee with Channel 6, you're eating your lunch with Channel 6, you're fixing dinner with Channel 6, and you're telling your kids goodbye with Channel 6. It's like the clock. And to me, it's that comfort level. It's the idea that, wow, I feel home.
A feeling of trust, respect, and accountability.
And that's what strikes me as being if there's a legacy about Channel 6, it's the historic nature of how it really brought New Orleans into literally the 20th century. And now the 21st century.
WDSU became a forum for that, and I think that community component is what television stations, local broadcast stations have to be about today.
Randy Russo, WDSU News.
For 75 incredible years, you have invited us into your homes, making us a part of your daily routine. What an amazing journey it's been, and we couldn't have done it without you. The heart and soul of our news. As we celebrate 75 years of shared moments, we want you to know how much you mean to us. From all of us here at WDSU, thank you for your unwavering support and loyalty. Our commitment to you doesn't end here. Then, now, and always, we promise to keep bringing you the stories that matter and everything in between for another 75 years and beyond.